Hi, and welcome to our staff picks. Today we have a bunch of great picks for you, and so let's get started.
My name is Kristen Poe, and I work in the children's department. And the book I'm talking about today is called Just Like Jackie by Lindsay Stoddard. And this book is about an 11-year-old girl named Robinson Hart. She's actually named after Jackie Robinson, who was a professional baseball player. And she was named after him by her grandpa because Jackie Robinson was the first African-American player, and he had to be kind of strong in the face of adversity. And so her grandpa wants her to be tough and strong. And she is. She's a really tough little girl, and she loves baseball. Robbie lives with her grandpa. Her mom actually died shortly after she was born, and she never knew her dad. So her grandpa is really the only family she has. And she loves him very much. He's a very sweet guy. He's very hardworking. He braids her hair for her every morning. And they work on things together. Her grandpa owns an auto shop, and so Robbie works with him in that auto shop, an auto repair shop. And she knows how to do things like change brakes, or change the oil in a car. And it's really cool that she knows these things. She's learning a lot of skills. They also have maple trees in their backyard, and every winter they tap them to get the sap that they make into their own maple syrup. So they have these really neat traditions. They always work side by side. They're kind of a team, and Robbie really likes that. But lately, Grandpa's been having some memory issues. He's starting to forget where he put things, or he'll forget the name of something, or he'll forget certain words. And this concerns Robbie. She knows it's not good, but she's afraid if someone finds out, they might take her away from Grandpa, and that's the only family she has. So she's trying to cover up for him. Meanwhile, at school, she's in 5th grade at school, and they have a class project that they're supposed to make their family tree. Well, Robbie doesn't want to do the project because she hardly has a family. She only knows Grandpa. She doesn't know any of her other family members. So she gets kind of frustrated with this. And at the same time, there's a bully named Alex, and he just kind of picks on kids and is mean, and Robbie stands up to him. She's kind of tough, and she'll stand up for herself, and she'll stand up for other kids. Well, they kind of get into a fight, and it lands them in group guidance together. It's Robbie, Alex, and 2 other kids from their class. And they start talking about what's going on in their lives, and Robbie kind of learns that even though these other kids seem like they have really perfect lives, they actually don't. They're struggling with things at home too. And all 4 of these kids don't want to do the family tree project for various reasons. Well, the group guidance counselor is really good at working with them, and she encourages them to try the family tree project. So Robbie uses this project kind of as a springboard to get her grandpa to talk about her mom. Her grandpa has never wanted to talk about her mom because it makes him too sad that she died when Robbie was really little. But he does slowly start talking about her. And Robbie kind of realizes that she has to get Grandpa to talk about these memories before they fade away because he's starting to have memory issues, and she might never know anything about her mom if he doesn't start talking. So this whole book is about Robbie dealing with her grandpa's memory problems, the bully at school, the family tree project, and learning about her mom. And it's just a really great story, and it has a really happy ending. It kind of left me misty-eyed. But the theme of the book is that even though you might have a small family, or your family might be kind of broken up, or not live together, or maybe your family's scattered, it's really the people around you that form your support group that become your family. And Robbie realizes this as it goes on, and at the very end, I won't spoil the ending for you, but it's really good how she discovers that she really has a good support group, and there's lots of people who care about her and will take care of her. So I recommend it. It's called Just Like Jackie by Lindsay Stoddard.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I am a cataloger in the Technical Services Department and a children's librarian. I chose to share the book Murder is Bad Manners by Robin Stevens. It is the first in a series of mystery books called the Wells and Wong Mysteries. It's set in the 1930s at an all-girls boarding school in England called Deep Dean, and the main characters are Daisy Wells and Hazel Wong. The 2 girls set up their own detective society in the school. It's a secret society, so there are no other members and no one else knows about it. But they try to solve mysteries, and they start with just really simple ones like who stole somebody's tie for school and who things go missing, but the big case they solve in this book is Hazel discovers their teacher, Miss Bell, dead on the gym floor. She runs to tell other people and comes back 5 minutes later, and the body is gone. There's no trace of her, and no one believes her except Daisy, that their teacher was murdered. So they are trying to solve her murder that no one else believes happened, while at the same time keep their detective society a secret. So it's a really great story. There are a lot of teachers who had great motives to kill Miss Bell. There was a lot of jealousy. There was a job promotion coming up that everyone wanted, and she was the favorite for it. There was like a love triangle going on, so it's a really great story, and I definitely recommend it.
So, Melissa, in your book, Murder is Bad Manners, Daisy and, sorry, what was the other character? Hazel. Daisy and Hazel. So they're friends who start this detective agency. How long have they been friends?
They became friends the year before this book happens. Hazel is actually from Hong Kong. Her father was a businessman who went to English boarding school and was really demanding that she go to English boarding school. So she was an international student. She had no friends the first year she was there, and Daisy became like a really quick, like close friend. It was kind of a fast, really intense friendship.
Okay,
So they've been best friends for about 2 years.
so they're kind of like sisters almost at this point in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That sounds neat.
Hi, I'm Miriam. I'm an adult librarian here in Worcester, and I picked The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. So this book actually takes place in 2 different time periods. The present, which is 1995, and in the present, an old lady is moving into her nursing home, but before she does, she wants to take a trunk with her that she's brought with her from her time where she, like all of the times that she moved. It's her, memory trunk, and she wants to take it with her, but her son's saying, you should really just leave it, we can't take all this stuff with you. And she insists, no, it has to come with me. And then we're also in the past, which is at the outbreak of World War II. And it's about 2 sisters, Vianne and Isabel. So Vianne got married when she was young, and she had a child when she was young, and they moved into a small cottage out in the French countryside. And so World War II is just broken out. Her husband Antoine has gone off to war, and she's left with her daughter Sophie. We'll enter in her little sister Isabel, who's been kicked out of another boarding school, and is this independent free spirit who her father has sent from Paris to live with Vianne because the war has broken out and he doesn't want her in Paris. So Germany has now occupied France, and an SS officer has come to live in Vianne's house. So Vianne, is keeping her head down, just trying to get through the war, waiting for her husband to get back. Isabel is outraged because the French army is doing nothing. They've stepped back, and she's like, no, Nazis are not taking over. So she joins the French resistance, and she starts handing out anti-Nazi propaganda. And, it's very dangerous for her. If she were to get caught, she'd be executed. And she ends up, moving to Paris to hand out pamphlets there and help there. But she ends up actually, helping airmen, like Canadian, British, American airmen who have been shot down, and getting them to Spain through the southern mountains of France. Meanwhile, Vianne at home is left with this SS officer, and her friend Rachel, who's Jewish, has been taken out of her home and sent to a concentration camp in Germany. And Vianne actually adopts her son and tries to take care of them, all in the midst of everything that's going on. And it's World War II, and it's crazy, and it's just so much is happening. And these 2 women are just trying to make it through the war the best that they can. And so it's really great. There's a bunch of answers to be questioned, like does Isabel get caught with the airmen? How does Vianne end up doing any kind of resistance in the war? And, does her husband come home? Does Isabel get caught? So it's just a really great book, and I definitely recommend it.
Miriam, is The Nightingale based on historical events, or do the characters have any historical significance, or
Yeah,
based on real people?
So they're not real people, but Isabel is based off of a real life person. Her name was Andre de Jean. I think that's how you pronounce it. But so this lady, helped airmen escape through the Pyrenees Mountains in the south of France and get into Spain and be sent back to, Britain or Canada or America. So that was actually a real person and who was, awarded for her service during World War II.
Great. Cool.
Hello, my name is Debra. I'm the genealogy librarian here with the library, and I work upstairs in the genealogy and local history department. Today I'm going to talk about a book. It's called The Stranger in My Genes by Bill Griffith. This is based on a true story. Being a genealogist, one of the most recent tools that's come in handy for a lot of genealogists is actually DNA. And this is a story about Bill Griffith, who has actually discovered DNA and discovered a long-known secret based on DNA. As you well know, a lot of times family histories, they just have a lot of dark secrets that are hidden. And once you take a DNA test, anything can happen. And so Bill actually discovers with his DNA test that his father is not his father. He had spent many years actually researching his family, and only to find out that he had researched a whole different line that wasn't even related to him. He had actually taken a DNA test back in 2000. This book was actually published just in 2016. And it actually talks about his journey, just trying to come to grips with understanding that his father is not his father. His elderly mom is still living at this time, and so he's actually debating with himself how much he should push his mom to try to find out what the secret would be that's been handed down through the family, and why the father is not who the father he thought he was. And so it's a really good book, just talking about the struggles with dealing with the idea that you find something different in your family that you're not used to researching, and just talking about how he has had to come to terms in terms of how much does he ask his mom, and when does he call it quits in terms where he doesn't want to push anything further based on this secret that's been kept in the dark for many, many years. Once again, this is The Stranger in My Genes by Bill Griffith, based on a true story, talking about a gentleman's discovery about DNA and how through the DNA his father is not his father, and how he tries to go through and understand how to deal with that and how to get questions answered from his mom.
Deb, why did Bill Griffith why did he decide to use DNA to connect to ancestry, and how did he come about that science and process?
Actually, he had been interested in genealogy for many years, and one of his relatives, Doug, got him a DNA test. Bill Griffith had not even thought about taking a DNA at this point. Remember, this is fairly new. I mean, the DNA that he did, he finally took one in 2012, and he didn't believe the results, so he actually took a second one. And both results came back definitely that his father was not his father. So it was really interesting, but it was Doug, one of his relatives, is the one that actually got him first interested in taking a DNA test. Then also about 2012 is probably about the time period that the DNA was just starting to come forward with genealogy, becoming a new tool for genealogists, and it's just exploded since then. I mean, almost everyone now is wanting to do DNA testing through Ancestry, MyHeritage, 23andMe, as well as Family Tree DNA. Those are the big main 4 players right now. And genealogists from all over have been using DNA results to resolve mysteries. They have a long time secret in their family that they're just wanting to know if it's true or not. They're using that for adoptions. They use DNA just because they're curious of the ethnicity. And in this case, I mean, he never dreamed that he was going to discover that the DNA results was going to show that his father was not his father. I mean, he always thought it was something strange because he was the youngest of 5 kids, but his older sister was already having kids before he was born. So it was just, he always thought he was a special case, but he didn't know how special he was until Doug convinced him to do the DNA test. And like I said, he had to do it 2 or 3 times because he didn't believe the results of science. Because it just couldn't be, because his mom was so proper, there was just no way that she would ever do a mishap. But you have to read the story to find out what's going on with that.
Okay.
My dad actually did a DNA test through Ancestry.com, but it wasn't a mystery. I said, Dad, you're 47% Irish. He goes, Miriam, I already knew that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But it was definitely very cool to see all the stuff about it. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, forensic genealogy is just really big right now. I mean, there's actually professional genealogists that focus just on the DNA aspect of genealogy.
Thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in any of these titles, you can check them out at our library or any of the branches. And you can also check them out on Overdrive, and then you should definitely check out Hoopla and Flipster. So thank you so much for watching.